If I had to pick one strategy to get the most rich customers possible, this is it. It's a combination of paid ads, organic nurture, and DM selling that is the strongest possible funnel method that I can think of. And as you're gonna see later in this video, after looking at this strategy from a high level, there are three big insights that can actually be applied to any marketing strategy. I am 100% confident that the information I'm going to share with you in this video will make you $0. Mostly because I don't know who you are. And I don't know if you're the type of person who actually takes action. And information is 100% useless without action. So, a key thing about this strategy that you might notice right away is that the content is not for getting new customers. The purpose of the content in this strategy is to convince the people that are already there to buy. So, it's not as if the social media posts are being made to get new customers. They're being made assuming that the people who are seeing those posts have already been introduced to the business from paid ads. And so the content serves a completely different purpose. It's not trying to go viral. It's not trying to get the most views. The key is that the content is trying to nurture an existing audience. Now, that doesn't mean that zero organic traffic is getting generated, because obviously some people will see the social media posts organically, but it just means that the primary source of traffic is not the content. Most of the new people are coming from the ads. And it's for that reason that the content has to have a degree of visual sophistication. It has to look good because this funnel is designed to get rich buyers, and rich buyers are very, very judgmental with the way things look. In the same way that you see an attractive person and you instantly know that they're attractive, a rich customer will look at a business and instantly decide in their mind if that business has the level of quality that they expect. And a big part of that subconscious decision is how the business looks, which leads me to the first big insight that I have, which is how a business looks changes how its words are understood. The visual part of marketing changes how people perceive the logical part of it. And obviously the words that you say matter in a marketing strategy, right? Because that's what contains the logical information that is being given. But it's the visuals and the context that changes how in the customer's mind that logical information is being processed, which is why it has to be visually sophisticated. The design is crucial. And this applies to basically any type of business, but it especially applies to specific industries where the visual aspect of the business is the entire point. So specifically what I mean is like interior design, pool building, landscaping, if you build patios, any type of home development really, and any type of aesthetics business. So like a med spa or a plastic surgeon or a body contouring specialist, anything like that. If the customer is paying for something to look nice, obviously the content has to look nice to sell it. Because with this strategy, most of the people who are coming from the paid ads are going to see the content. That's actually the entire purpose of the content. And it's one of the reasons why using this strategy, it's completely unnecessary to post more than once per week. We really want them to see the best that the business has to offer. And if they're posting every single day, then they're probably not going to see the best that the business has to offer. They're going to see the best that the business has to offer if the content has a ton of time and effort put into it, right? And that leads me to the second big insight that comes from this strategy, which is marketing makes itself stronger. Paid ads make content stronger and get you more followers. Your content makes your paid ads stronger and nurtures that audience. But think about it like this. The content only makes the paid ads stronger if the content is of a certain quality. Because if somebody comes from paid ads onto the website and they think, okay, this looks good, this looks interesting, and then they go onto the social media profile and the posts are actually worse, then that is going to degrade the performance of the paid ads. So the key is to post less, but make the posts really, really fucking good. Let me give you something super tactical. If you are a local business owner, you could consider doing this. A lot of you guys have these teeny tiny little links at the very bottom of your website that are really hard to see. I would try using these big fat fucking links instead. Just these huge links. And then I would do something like a big headline above this section on my website that says, you know, follow us or follow us on social media or something like that. And then what you could do, you could literally screenshot this part of the video right here and ask ChatGPT to give you a version of each of these buttons on a transparent background. Take each of those PNGs and then embed them onto your website with a social media link attached to each respective button. And then you can make that change in like 20 minutes, and that would definitely increase the amount of traffic that is flowing from your website, right? From your website and from whatever other marketing channels you have onto your social media posts. And that's the key. And so when this strategy is compared with what a lot of local businesses do, which is basically just they run ads, right? And they send that traffic to their website. And then they basically just hope that these people end up buying. But what happens on this third step right here? Well, either they buy immediately or they don't buy. They click off the website, and then chances are that customer is gone forever. Because think about it. If we send a potential customer to a website and they are not ready to make a purchase, and there's no way to re-engage them after they leave the website, then they're just going to leave the website and they're going to forget about the business. And then a couple of weeks down the road, once they are ready to spend money, the chance that they just remember our business is very, very low. Now let's think about the opposite scenario. Using this strategy, if I'm sending traffic to my website with paid ads and they don't buy, but they do end up following my social media profile because I have these really large buttons and my social media content is actually high quality, then every single week or so, they see a post from me. Then a few weeks down the line, when they're ready to buy, who do they think of immediately? They think of me. And that's the point. The content is the nurture. Also, if we are using a lead magnet strategy here, we can also follow up with SMS, aka text messages, and email. And a big part of this is that we are setting up DM automations on ManyChat to nurture people in the DMs with Facebook Messenger. So you can almost see this strategy with 1, 2, and then SMS is 3, and then emails 4. There's 4 different types of follow-up. The funnel starts to become pretty efficient because we're basically squeezing the maximum amount of juice possible out of the paid ads. I also want to go back to the content for a minute here. The content is getting posted, as you can see, on 9 local groups and also to the main feed. And the key is that you need to find the area near your business that has rich people. So here in Phoenix, where I live, that area is called Scottsdale. That's where all the rich people around here live. And then once you find that area, you literally just go onto the groups tab on Facebook and then search up the name of that area. So I would go onto the groups and I would search up Scottsdale. And then you can find all of these local groups that are filled with people who live in that area and who are on average going to be higher income. And then every single time you post, you can post in those local groups as well as posting to the main feed on your page, which is where the people coming from the paid ads will see it. And so remember, the goal here is that we want to post less. We really want everyone to see nothing but the highest quality work that the business has to offer, which is what leads me to the final big insight of this strategy, which is that the quality of your marketing is more about what's removed than what's added. And I have found so many times in my personal life that when I'm trying to do something at a very high level of quality, I have to get rid of all the things that make something worse. And then what is left over is the quality. And it's kind of like sharpening a sword, right? When you are sharpening a sword, it's not like you're adding sharpness to it. You are removing all of the parts of the sword that stop it from being sharp. And that's kind of like marketing, because usually what the customer cares about is very, very obvious, right? What does the customer of a gym care about? They want to look hot and feel confident and be muscular. Okay, what about the customer of a med spa? They want to have clear, nicer skin. What about the customer of a restaurant? They want to eat good tasting food. It's all obvious. And trying to strip away everything from your marketing that doesn't strengthen that one core message is really, really hard to do. It's easier to say 100 words than it is to say 20 that are carefully considered. And the more stuff you start to add that doesn't matter, the more that your marketing starts to perform worse, I've found, because it's starting to lose its sharpness.